Let me tell you something most men don't want to hear. You're not tired because your life is hard. You're tired because you're constantly living in a state of tension, always thinking, always worrying, always trying to control everything. And the truth is this: you can have money, you can have goals, you can have relationship, you can have success and still feel completely overwhelmed on the inside. Because being relaxed is not about your circumstances, it's about your internal state. And a truly relaxed woman, she doesn't just look different. She moves differently. She thinks differently. She reacts differently. Even her energy feels different when she walks into a room. And I want to talk to you about that today. Not in a pretty way, not in a complicated way. Just like we're sitting down and having a real conversation. Hi there, beautiful people. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're seeing my face for the first time, my name is Indifeke, but you can call me Indi. On this channel, we have lots of fun and most importantly, we'll learn a lot. So I highly recommend that you hit the subscribe button. Without wasting your time, let's get right into today's video. A lot of women are walking around believing that relaxation is something you earn after everything finally falls in place. When I get the job, I'll relax. When I find the right relationship, I'll relax. Or when I finally have enough money, I'll relax. But what usually happens is this: even when those things come, the body and the mind don't automatically switch off. You still find yourself anxious, still overthinking, still rushing inside your own head. And that's because relaxation is not something that happens outside of you first. It starts inside you. A relaxed woman is not someone who has a perfect life. She's someone who has learned how to stop fighting her own life. And I know that might sound simple, but it's actually deep when you sit with it. Because most of us are in constant internal resistance. You wake up and you're already thinking about what you didn't do yesterday, everything you need to do today, and everything that might go wrong tomorrow. Your mind is never where your body is. You are in the shower thinking, you are eating thinking, you're resting but you're still mentally working. So your body is tired but your nervous system is still alert. That's the state a lot of women are living in without even realizing it. But a relaxed woman, she's not operating like that. She's not in that constant inner war with herself. She still has responsibilities, yes. She still has problems like everyone else, but she doesn't carry everything at once in her mind. She doesn't hold the entire weight of her life every single second of the day. She knows how to put things down mentally, and that's a skill, not a personality trait, but a skill. So let's be honest, most women are not taught how to relax. We were taught how to be responsible, how to be alert, how to anticipate problems, how to stay on top of everything, how not to drop the ball. And those things are useful, yes, but when they are not balanced, they turn into anxiety, they turn into overthinking, they turn into this feeling that if you're not constantly managing everything will fall apart. So even when nothing is wrong, your body still behaves like something is about to go wrong, and that's exhausting. So when I talk about becoming a relaxed woman, I'm not talking about becoming careless. I'm talking about becoming regulated, grounded, and present. A woman who is not constantly dressing for impact. Because think about it, have you ever met someone like that? They are not rushing their words. They are not over-explaining everything. They are not reacting to every little thing. There's this softness in how they exist. Even when life is busy, they don't look internally chaotic. And it's attractive, not just to people, but honestly, to life itself. Things seem to flow better around them. And you might think that's just personality, but a lot of time it's a nervous system regulation. It's how their body has learned to respond to stress. Because this regulated nervous system makes everything feel urgent. Everything feels like it needs to be an immediate reaction. Every message, every problem, every delay, every situation feels bigger than it is. But a regulated calm nervous system gives you space, it gives you choice, and that pause changes everything. Because now you're not reacting from panic, you are responding from clarity. And I need you to understand something here. Most bad decisions are not made in calm states. Most impulsive reactions, emotional texts, unnecessary arguments, overthinking spirals, they don't come from peace, they come from tension. So when you become a more relaxed woman, your entire life starts to shift quietly. Not because everything around you immediately changes, but because you stop amplifying chaos internally. And that alone is powerful. Now, one thing I want you to really sit with is this: a relaxed woman does not need to try to control everything. She understands something very important, that control is actually what creates a lot of her stress. Because the more you try to control outcomes, people, timing, situations, the more pressure you put on yourself. And life doesn't respond well to pressure like that. People don't respond well to pressure like that either. So instead, she learns to influence where she can, prepare where she can, and release where she cannot. That doesn't mean she doesn't care. It means she doesn't suffocate herself trying to force life into specific shape. And that shift alone can change your entire emotional experience. Because suddenly you're not constantly gripping everything so tightly. You are not over checking, overthinking, over monitoring every detail. You are not living like everything depends entirely on your constant attention. And I know some people might hear this and think, but if I don't control everything, things will go wrong. Nah. The truth is this, even when you try to control everything, things still go wrong. Life still happens, people still misbehave unpredictably, plans still shift. So the question is not whether things will always go perfectly. The question is, will you suffer through it unnecessarily? A relaxed woman still has problems. She just doesn't turn every problem into a personal collapse. She doesn't spiral, she adjusts, she breathes, she moves on. And one of the biggest things she understands is pace. She doesn't rush her life. And this is something I want to slow down for, because we underestimate how rushing affects our mental state. When you rush everything, your morning, your tasks, your decisions, even your conversations, you create this internal pressure. Your body stays in a mild state of urgency all day long. And when urgency becomes your baseline, relaxation feels uncomfortable, stillness feels wrong, doing nothing feels stressful. So you fill every gap with something, scrolling, thinking, planning, fixing, doing something. But a relaxed woman is not addicted to urgency. She can exist without constantly stimulating herself. She can sit without needing to escape the silence. She can move slowly without feeling like she's falling behind in life. And ironically, that slower energy often makes her more effective, not less, because she's not scattered, she's not reactive, she's not burning herself out just to feel like she's on top of things. She's present, and presence is powerful. Now, becoming this woman is not about flipping switch overnight. It's small, repeated choices. It's noticing when you're rushing and slowing yourself down on purpose. It's noticing when your thoughts are spiraling and choosing not to follow them further. It's noticing when your body is tense and physically relaxing your shoulders, your jaw, your breathing. It's learning to come back to your body instead of living entirely in your mind, because overthinking is often just disconnection from the body. And the more you come back into your body, the more grounded you feel. And something interesting happens when you do this consistently. You start to realize that not everything deserves your full emotional energy. Not every situation needs your full reaction. Not every moment requires urgency. Some things can just be observed and left, and you're still okay. That's when you start becoming a relaxed woman. Not because your life became perfect, but because your internal world stopped being a battlefield. And once that shift happens, everything around you feels different. Your relationships feels different, your decisions feel different, even how people respond to you starts to change, because your energy is no longer anxious and gripping. It's steady, and steady energy is rare. So if there's one thing I want you to take from this, is this: you don't become a relaxed woman by waiting for life to calm down. You become a relaxed woman by learning how to stay calm inside your life, even when things are unfinished, even when things are uncertain, even when things are not fully under your control. You don't abandon your responsibilities. You don't become passive. You stop living in internal panic. And slowly, you start to notice something surprising. Life doesn't feel as heavy as it used to. Not because life changed, but because you did. And at the end of the day, this isn't really about becoming a perfect woman or some ideal version of yourself that never feels stressed, never has bad days, never gets overwhelmed. That's not real. A relaxed woman still feels everything. She just doesn't let everything consume her. She feels stressed, but she doesn't live there. She feels pressure, but she doesn't become it. She experiences life without losing herself in it. And that's the difference. So if you've been feeling constantly tired, constantly on the edge, like your mind just won't switch off, this is your reminder that you don't have to live like that. You can choose a different pace. You can choose a different energy. You can choose to soften without losing your strength. And it might feel unfamiliar at first, even uncomfortable because you are not used to it, but give yourself permission to learn it, and little by little, moment by moment, because the woman you're becoming, she's not rushing, she's not forcing, she's not overwhelmed by everything around her. She's grounded, she's steady, she's relaxed from within. And once you become her, you realize it was never about changing your whole life overnight. It was about changing how you exist in your life. So don't wait for everything to finally calm down before you decide to feel at peace. Be the calm and let everything else meet you there. If this video spoke to you, you already know what to do. Give it a thumbs up and share it with someone that you think might need to hear this. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.